Welcome to episode number 11 of Facebook Friday Live. I am Sierra Bailey, the owner, designer, maker, everythinger here at Manic Trout Jewelry. And I am going to talk this week about matching jewelry. Let me tell you, this has been a dilemma as a designer. I've had Manic Trout for 15 years. First few years, not so great on designing like actual collections. That took a while for me to get into. Once I started designing actual collections, however, the dilemma to design sets or not to design sets came into play. So, if you have been following along with Manic Trout for many years, I like to give you a little backstory when I have these things so you know a little about the history. So when I first started designing jewelry for Manic Trout, there were no sets whatsoever. It was very much art jewelry. It was me going crazy with huge statement pieces and using unusual materials and very funky things. Then I kind of realized that I needed to start making multiples of items when I started getting pressed, things like that. I think the first thing I did with that was like I did the bottle cap collection. You know, no judgment. This was a long time ago. It was like when the maker movement was really going on. So we used things like bottle caps and safety pins and things like that. You know, that was a lot of things that were being done. And then, so it would have been weird to match with that, you know, and then I started, the animals kind of became my signature. So here's my dilemma with the animals. The animals have always been big statement pieces, but I personally, when I wear the animal like statement necklaces, I personally enjoy wearing maybe a pair of studs of some sort with them. I think they complement each other well, but because I use the animals are brass, and the idea is to have them age a little bit, so it's kind of hard to get a stud that matches. However, I'm a big embracer of pairing your metals and mixing your metals, so I'm a fan of wearing like a gold studs with them or silver or anything like that, and I think that looks great, and I'm a fan for that. But I know a lot of trouties keep saying, I like sets, I want sets. So my answer to that for a while was that when I would design my collections that were not animals, I would offer sets, and then when I would do the animals, they would be standalone on their own. So this went on for a few years, and I think worked pretty well. I'm wearing one of the off-season sets, and this one's kind of cool because it is the Zynga First Light necklace, and the bracelet matches really well. They look great on their own. This necklace is doubled, so it also looks long over here. But I kind of tried something a little different with this one. I'm going to take it off to show you because I can't get it. Gets weird. So I actually have an animal in the earring. I went full combo with this one. And there's a gemstone, which goes with the necklace with the dolphin on it that I can't remember the name of it. So I kind of combined all of them. And I noticed that people were more buying bits and pieces, not necessarily the sets for the most part, until I started really matching. And then people really liked that and they got into it. So I'm like, okay, Trouties have spoken. This is what I should do. So this past year, I actually kind of, and it took a lot more. It's interesting when you design the website and the back end of things, everything that seems like it's really simple takes about 9 times as long as you're doing it. So it took a while, but I designed earrings that matched all of the necklaces. And I first made I put it on the front page. So when you got there, you could see to go matching. And now I just have them available. When you shop for the necklace, it's there. And a lot of people are buying them. So I'm like, all right, the Trouties have spoken. We're more into matching. So I now try to, there's by no means any pressure, but I try to make sure that you have the available if you want to match. Some of the problem might be that I'm so short that see how close that ends up being to there. If you were taller with more of neck room, maybe that would, not be a problem. But it was a lesson learned. The Trouties have spoken. And I now am doing more matching. But I, of course, I just did the May necklaces and I didn't have anything matching. I realize that. Apologies. But, I realize it is something you want. So I have kind of 2 ways of doing this though. And of course, even if you're not watching live right now, join in the conversation, leave comments. You can leave them while I'm videoing and I'll reply to them right now. You can leave them afterwards if it's not live and I'll get back to you because I love input on this. So I design matching jewelry 2 ways. One, like I said, I like them to always be able to be standalone. Like this necklace looks great with so many different things. It does not have to be matching. This bracelet looks great with so many things, does not have to be matching. I often actually will wear a bracelet with big earrings and they don't match and I like that look. It depends on how hot it is here in Texas of how much stuff I want on me at the moment. But I like to mix and match jewelry, but I also actually, you know, I enjoy this. And maybe it's the older I get to, maybe it's just one less decision that we have to make in the day. So I have designed sets a couple of ways, and I want to share kind of how I look at this from a designer perspective, so you can see a little bit of the process behind the scenes. My hands are going like out of control today. Apologies on that. All right, so the different colors set, which are gemstones on each side. It's actually not off center, and then larger geometric gemstones in the center. These are the Lena that I'm showing you, are Labradorite and pink opal, which are so pretty. And I see that my mom is watching there, and I grew up with my mom, which I think it was a lie, so we wouldn't touch her jewelry, that you can only wear opals if it's your birthstone. Mom, I think that was a lie. That was not nice of you to say that. So this is the Lena, and the bracelet is designed very similarly. And I like that. I think these go really well together because it's of the same exact style. It's a nod to each other. You're not wondering how they relate. It's pretty obvious, but you also are having like the larger version in the necklace, the smaller version in the bracelet, and then the earrings, I went right along with the same theme. So this is a great way that I designed. And if you read the preview of the video, you saw that I'm going to give a little a sneak peek preview of the new collection of one of the colors, and you'll see that this theme will be returning again in the way I work. I like to use that method. So that's kind of one way that I try to do the sets. It looks great on their own. Nothing competes. Sizing, everything goes very nicely. Now, another way that I do this is I'm going to leave this on the bust. It looks better. So the Everything I Need necklaces, and this is the Aileen, which has green onyx. So this has the off-center in the place of the gemstone that's on the side. This is a very chain-oriented design. It's made, I think I was wearing it in last week's video in white, and it is made to look like a double necklace without having to actually double, like I doubled this one. This one always is doubled. It does not go into a single. So when I did the bracelet version of this one, I did keep it off center. That I tried to keep as a signature through it, and just did less of a number. So you can see these go very nicely together. However, I went a little off book when I did the earrings to go with this, and they are absolutely of the same style with a little bit of a twist, which I like too. So I actually changed shape on this one. I mean, did you know there was so much thought from a design perspective that I put into all of this? We're learning. So this I went with a teardrop. Can you see that against the black? I went with the teardrop gemstone instead of the round, and I liked that it was matching but yet a little different. And I actually wear these three together probably the most, but I think it's because they're a little bit finer in the detailing and everything. So it maybe doesn't look as matchy-matchy. And I will also say a big factor in when I wear matching jewelry is that, like right now, I'm wearing a very busy skirt, and I'm wearing just a plain white shirt. So when I'm matching things together, they're kind of drawing the attention away. If I was wearing a shirt that maybe competed with something visually, either in a big pattern or in some complicated stitching or something like that, maybe I would not want it to be so busy. So that is kind of a factor too when I think about if I'm wanting to be matching or not. And also in the winter, I've noticed that I enjoy matching more things together, maybe because my hair is down and there are more fabrics. You know, if last week I talked a lot about the seasonal dressing, so it's like when I'm wearing lighter clothing, maybe I don't want to have as many heavy pieces on, and that tends to make it so I don't want to match. But the option's great to matching, which is why I like to have the option. But by no means, when you see one of my collections that has all of the matching pieces, by no means do I expect that you would automatically want to wear them all at once. It's a personal preference. Now, another way that I design the matching is, I don't know if I actually went into detail. So like on this one, when I use the animal and the gemstone and how the earrings are so different, that is almost like, in fact, that was almost I almost want to say that was a fail in the design, because I don't know that a lot of people associated them together. So that was like, are they supposed to match? Are they not? So I actually feel that we're a little, we want to go a little more meta. We want everything to be obviously matching when we're matching here. So I've learned that lesson too. But I really liked the little cluster part of this necklace. So when I designed the Luck You Got line, which is the pink, long, can be doubled, has this very adorable diamond shape in it. When I designed this collection, I specifically thought to myself, well, I really enjoyed that little cluster part of it, but I don't want to bring in elements that don't necessarily, that come from outside. Like the bird all of a sudden going into this, I think confused people. So I think I actually designed the earrings first, and then I opted to put the diamond shape in all of them. And you know, fun fact, in stationery, the little insignia that you would have, like if you have like letter pressed personalized stationery, that they call that a dingbat a lot of the time, or they used to. I don't know if it's still used. So it would be, I think that was what it would call it. It would be the thing that would be like on your kind of monogram, like your little like animal, and that was kind of what I was inspired by for this collection. So first I went with the diamond on the earring and added that little cluster, which I love and I feel is so summery and fun. And then when I actually designed the necklace, I thought to keep the diamond shape in it so that they all went back around together. And the bracelet, I feel, kind of combined the cluster because I have the multiple strands and then the long length, which PS, this actually can also be worn as a bracelet. But if you have really little wrists, it might not go around enough. It might be a little big. But that is kind of another way that I have done this. I have to hit a button on my phone. Excuse me here. It's telling me things. Okay. So the basic idea that I've got from you Trouties recently is that you like sets, even though you don't want to buy them all together, and I will do my best to continuously design things that can match and be worn as sets, but I never expect you to wear them as sets. Which brings me to the new collection. I'm giving you a sneak peek. It will be debuting this next week. I normally debut new collections on like the closer of the first of the month, but with Memorial Weekend, you know, there's a lot going on, so I didn't want to interfere with people having plans and things like that. So, Monday or Tuesday of this next week, the new collection will drop. You may have seen hints and peeks on Facebook and Instagram. It is sea glass. Very exciting. Full disclosure, I'm letting you know right now to explain to you that there are two ways to have sea glass now. There is real found on the beach sea glass, and that is when you find beautiful sea glass, you can have somebody drill that and make it into jewelry, but it is very rare. And it is hard to find pieces bigger than like this big, and definitely not consistent. So they actually, people kind of make sea glass. They use seawater and they tumble it kind of how you tumble gemstones, that same way. So I am working with sea glass that is helped along. It is not found on the ocean. We would not have consistency, and only one of you would get a necklace. So that wouldn't be very fun. So I was trying to think of how to show you peaks without giving away too much. So I think what I'm going to be doing is there are two colors that will not be shown. If you have been following along with Manic Trout and Manic Trouty for a while, you know that my every other collection that comes out has 12 pieces. So this, of course, is a collection that will be in sets. There is a necklace, bracelet, and earrings in each of the color combos. And I don't know how much I want to reveal. It's kind of nerve-wracking. Like, do I show you too much? You know, it's like, how much of a tease do I give? But I think that everybody's pretty excited to see them, and I've been teasing for a while. So I'm going to show you the entire set of one of the colors, my favorite of the colors. Da-da-da! Cheery music. We need like a drum roll or something. All right, so here is the necklace. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put it on. How about that? So I will say that the colors that I went with, if I knew I was going to be changing jewelry, I would not have had my hair down. The base center color that I have, like the kind of like main color of it, is actually called like Coke bottle green because of how the vintage Coke bottles would wash up. And that was this beautiful greenish, almost aqua colored. I don't know how your monitors are calibrated if you can see it, but it's so pretty. And then the bright green behind it, which I associate kind of these two colors as the most common of these sea glass colors. Actually, I tend to find a lot of brown when I look for sea glass, which is depressing because who wants brown sea glass? I'm not a fan of brown, admittedly. All right, so here is the necklace. I have named them, but I don't remember what they are. So we'll just go on sea glass right now. I'm going to actually make them so when you go to the website, you'll be able to find them sea glass. We have, this is actually, I have been asked by a few tradies to do an archive of the photos of all the jewelry I've designed in the history of Manic Trout. Let me tell you that 15 years of making jewelry, when I didn't design collections, when I designed like back in the day and I would just go crazy with the art jewelry, there was so much jewelry. But that's a lot of the part of the history, because when you look back through the jewelry, you can see kind of how I evolved as a designer, and you can't have an archive without the beginning. So I've been going through that and working on it, and it will take some time, but it's coming. So this is kind of a nod to a design that I had many years ago that I loved, that I've done a few ways, and I feel like I've matured, and this is like, I feel like I have grown up and done it the best way. It's what you get with all these years of experience of designing. So this feels wonderful on. It's like the glass has it's like a velvet quality. A lot of real sea glass still has edges. It's not always that, you know, it's kind of the awesomeness of it, but thank you, Shani. So I am loving this material. I was so excited when I first got samples of it. I mean, I've been trying to share these things with you guys for a while. I have had a hard time holding back. So in my kind of journey of creating matching things, I actually, because the center cut of these is so cool, that I actually didn't want to just put one. So the bracelet has 3. I really like the bracelet. I don't know how, I might be able to squeeze it on my hand. So as I have spoken, yeah, I can. As I've spoken about so many times here, I'm 5'2". Things are very long kind of on me. I always can do extenders, and I've noticed that the way that everybody likes it the best is if I, thank you, Claire, if I design the bracelets to be a little bigger. All you have to do is say to me in the comments, I think this bracelet is 8 inches. So if you just said, I need a 7.5 inch bracelet, I can, you know, redesign it very quickly to make it happen. Remember, I design and make all the jewelry, so I can make it any size you need. But I have noticed that if I make bracelets that fit me snugly, they don't really fit a lot of people. So I've stopped doing that. Okay, you ready? The earrings I almost like more than I like the rest of it. And in the continuation of matching, I'm kind of going with a little bit different color so that when you wear them together, because the earrings are kind of big, they're not like direct matching, they more complement each other and look lovely together. So the earrings, oh, also, we're still kind of, they haven't been released yet, and it is true to what I always do. The last week I start to freak out and start really tweaking because I'm wearing them around and making last minute decisions. And I decided the other day that the earrings were a tad bit too heavy and a tad bit too long, like tiny bit. So they will be, I've ordered more stones in a little bit smaller size. So they actually will be, this is not the final design. These are going to be a little bit different. But how magnificent are those? They look like the shards. I just dropped one on the floor. Okay, so they are so pretty. Isn't that lovely? That's just lovely. I love it. I love it. When I say they, I mean like the glass. The design's pretty, but the actual like glass that I get from people I find so pretty. All right, so I'm going to stick one on. I have a problem putting earrings on. Does anybody else? It takes me a while. All right, so those are the earrings. Aren't they fun? They'll be probably a little bit shorter. You know, they're not heavy. They're actually pretty light. They're probably comparable to like what these are of heaviness. And you can see they don't really pull or anything like that, but I just want them to be a little bit smaller on top. And they do, on my short stature, at this length, they like hit into that a little bit. So I didn't like this, so I'm tweaking them a little bit. So there you go. We have a sneak peek at the new collection. We've talked all about matching jewelry that I designed for it now, that you don't have to wear all together, but that you absolutely can. And that is another Facebook Live Friday. In case you missed at the beginning, I'm Sierra. I'm the designer and maker here at Manic Trout, and every Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time, we go live. I enjoy hearing you, reading you typing in comments while we're here together on Fridays, and I, of course, read everything afterwards, so if you comment afterwards, continue the conversation. I love to do that. I also, if you want to hear me talk about anything, please let me know. I will next week be trying on the entire collection for you to see of the new pieces, because they will have been out. So I do that, right after new pieces debut. Oh, and little side note to let you know, I am continuing the monthly special edition designs, but because this collection had to come out kind of the first week, and because it's kind of summer, I will be doing the June special edition collection. Will be kind of June, July. So it will come out middle of June until probably August. I've heard hints of mermaids involved. Wouldn't that be nice, right? So that will be coming in a few weeks too, and look forward to it. But until then, you are on the Manic Trout Facebook page by watching this. If you'd like to see more videos, just click on Manic Trout, go to the video tab, and you will see more of the videos. I've numbered them for the most recent, so you can watch them in order. You, of course, can engage in conversation with me on the Facebook page. Also, I'm on Instagram at Manic Trout, and Twitter, for those of you that are. I don't speak very much on Twitter, though. I'm more visual, so I like the pictures. I will be back next Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. If you're not on the newsletter list, you can go to manictrout.com and sign up on the bottom right-hand corner. And the reason you want to be on the newsletter list is, one, I send out a code every month that gets you a great discount, and two, you will be the first to know when this collection launches. Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? I don't know. I mean, I do know, but you don't know, so you can find out that way. I hope to see you live next Friday at 1 p.m. And until then, Trouties, thank you for watching and being a fan of Manic Trout.